Good morning. I have so missed you. It's just not the same. I miss your smiles. I miss your hugs. I miss seeing your hands raising to answer a question. I just miss you. And you know what we always say at the end of each day, don't forget. But before we get started, I wanted to show you Miss Emmy. She's been very, very, very close to me since we have not been in school. She thinks that I just should always be available for her to sit on my lap. So she might start barking, and if she starts barking, then we'll just have to put her down. But anyway, so I'm going to read a lesson for you today. Now this week, it's just going to get used to the using the video, getting used to getting on the computer, and then next week we're going to do some read aloud stuff. So, but I've been thinking, well, what should we do? What should we do? And because we all love Mercy Watson, I thought now's the perfect time to finish the book. And you know I have a couple other books. So I'm going to start with where we left off in Mercy Watson Fights Crime. Remember that there's somebody in the house and Mercy hears him. Remember, his name is Leroy. I'm not going to start at the beginning because we've already read that, but I'll just catch you up here, okay? So, and he thinks he's a cowboy and he says, yippee-yi-yo. And what happens next? Okay, this is chapter 9, so we're about halfway through the book. Inside the Lincoln sisters' house, baby Lincoln woke up. She went into her sister Eugenia's room. "Sister, wake up," baby said. "There is somebody outside shouting, yippee-yi-yo." There's a picture. Okay. It's kind of hard to turn the pages when Emmy's on my arm. "Did you have pie before bed again?" asked Eugenia. "I did not," said baby. "I think you did," said Eugenia. "I did not," said baby. "Go back to your room immediately," said Eugenia. "Yes, sister," said baby. Baby went back to her room. She got into her bed. She heard another yippee-yi-yo. "Oh dear," said baby. "I wish I'd not eaten that pie. But was it really the pie?" That was chapter 9. This is chapter 10. "Yippee-yi-yo! Baby!" shouted Eugenia. "Come back here immediately." There's no picture here. Baby got out of bed. She went to Eugenia's room. "Yes, sister," said baby. "Did you hear that noise?" said Eugenia. "Was it a yippee-yi-yo, sister?" "It was," said Eugenia. "You are dreaming," said baby. "Nonsense," said Eugenia. "Open the curtain." Baby opened the curtain. Together, the Lincoln sisters watched Mercy gallop across the lawn. They watched the little man on her back. Remember, they were in the kitchen when Leroy jumped on Mercy's back. They watched the little man on her back take his cowboy hat off and wave over his head. "Yippee-yi-yo!" the little man shouted. Here's the picture. There he is. He's saying, "Yippee-yi-yo!" "That pig is disturbing the peace," said Eugenia. "And so is the cowboy riding her. I am calling the police." "Oh, sister," said baby. "Are you sure it's not a dream?" "It's a nightmare," said Eugenia. "That's what it is." That was chapter 10. Here's chapter 11. Next door, Mrs. Watson discovered that Mercy was not in her bed. "Mr. Watson," she shouted, "come at once." Mr. Watson came at once. "Mercy is not here," said Mrs. Watson. "Are you certain?" asked Mr. Watson. "Have you looked under the bed?" Mrs. Watson bent over. She looked under the bed. "She is not here," said Mrs. Watson. Mr. and Mrs. Watson stood together in Mercy's room. "What should we do?" asked Mrs. Watson. "Yippee-yi-yo!" "It's that noise again," said Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson went to the window. This is what he saw. See that? He opened the curtain. He looked outside. Mrs. Watson, said Mr. Watson, we must call the fire department immediately. It's an emergency. Chapter 12. You see Leroy? There he is. And look, this is what he's thinking. This is a thought bubble. And this says this is what he's thinking. Let's see what it says about that. In reality, Leroy Ninker was a small thief on the back of a big pig. But in Leroy's mind, he was a cowboy riding a bucking bronco in the Wild West. A bucking bronco is a wild horse. Being a cowboy is hard work, said Leroy Ninker. I need some refreshment. Leroy reached into his shirt pocket. Uh-oh, what's going to happen next? He grabbed hold of a butter barrel candy. He unwrapped it with one hand and he plopped it in his mouth. Ah, said Leroy Ninker, this is the life. But just then, the pig kicked up her heels. The pig bucked. The pig reared. Leroy Ninker lost his grip. Yippee-yah, said Leroy. He flew through the air. Oh, my. Aye, said Leroy. He landed on his back. Hope you can see that. There you go. Oh, said Leroy Ninker. Oh, my goodness. What is going to happen next? Look at that. Get a good look at that picture. Oh, my goodness. Chapter 13. We are moving on, aren't we? Mercy sniffed. There was that delightful smell again. Now remember, what did she like to eat? Toast with what? Lots of butter. She's smelling that butter on that candy. Where was it coming from? She looked around. Where could it be? She saw the little man lying on the ground. There she is looking at the ground. She sniffed his face. Hee, said the little man. That tickles. Mercy snuffled the man's shirt. Hee, he said again. In order to snuffle the man better, guess what Mercy did? She sat on top of him again. Hee, get off of me, said the man. Mercy put her snout in the man's shirt pocket. She snuffled some more. Hee-hoo, hee, said the little man. Help! There's the picture. Look at that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at her. Mercy found a piece of candy. She bit into it. Did you know pigs eat candy? I didn't know that either. It was sweet. It was lovely. It was very, very buttery. Mercy sat on top of the little man and chewed. A siren wailed, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Ah, shucks, said the man. Chapter 14. There we go. The fire department arrived first. We have been to this house before, said the fireman named Ned. You are right, said the fireman named Lorenzo. Remember those names? This is the house with the pig. And the toast, said Ned. We ate toast at this house. I see the pig, said Lorenzo. He pointed at Mercy. The pig is sitting on somebody. Good grief, said Ned. Ned and Lorenzo got out of the fire truck. They saw Mr. and Mrs. Watson running out of the front door of their house. They saw Eugenia Lincoln and baby Lincoln running out of the front door of their house. This is an interesting job, isn't it? Ned said. Very interesting, said Lorenzo. We might even just finish this book. I believe we might. We'll see. Officer Tomalello pulled into the driveway of 54 Decaboo Drive. In the yard, he saw 2 firemen, 3 women in nightgowns, and 1 man in pajamas. They were all gathered around a pig. Is that the same pig I caught driving a convertible? He asked himself. Remember, we haven't read that book yet, have we? This is volume number 3. That must be in number 2 or number 1. I'm still trying to get those. It is, he answered himself. It is exactly the same pig. Officer Tomilello squinted. Squint. There you go. Is that pig sitting on top of somebody? Officer Tomilello asked himself. Certainly looks to be the case, he says to himself. Officer! Officer! Shouted Baby. Come quick! Mercy has caught a thief! Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson and Eugenia Lincoln and Baby Lincoln and Ned and Lorenzo and Officer Tomilello all looked down at Mercy. Are you a thief? Officer Tomilello asked the man underneath the pig. There you go. I am, said Leroy Ninker. I am a thief. Were you robbing these people? Officer Tomilello asked. I was, said Leroy Ninker, until the pig got involved. There it is. See, there they are looking at her. She is a big pig, isn't she? Gentlemen, said Officer Tomilello, will you assist me in removing the pig? At the count of 3, Ned and Lorenzo and Officer Tomilello lifted Mercy off of Leroy Ninker. You are under arrest, said Officer Tomilello. It's that pig you should be arresting, said Eugenia Lincoln. Remember, she doesn't like Mercy, does she? Oh, dear, look at this picture. Look at that. Leroy Ninker stood with his cowboy hat in his hand. He looked down at his feet. Look down at your feet. There you go. Oh, officer, said Mrs. Watson, this thief is so tiny. Shouldn't he have something to eat before you arrest him? Oh, who's talking? Mrs. Watson. Yes, Emmy, I see you. What do you think they're going to offer him? Maybe so. Maybe he needs some toast, said Ned. With a great deal of butter on it, added Lorenzo. Toast? Said Officer Tomilello. Who needs toast? Why, everyone needs toast, said Mrs. Watson. Even cowboys, said Leroy Ninker. Mercy pricked up her ears. That means her ears stood up. Look at all these pictures. Look at these. Toast? Butter? At last! Remember, that's what she was looking for. She headed for the Watsons' kitchen, and everyone followed her. Chapter 16. Oh. The next morning, the front page of the newspaper read, there it goes. It says, pet pig captures thief, sits on him until help arrives. That's what it says right here. She is a porcine wonder. Remember, porcine is another name for a pig. It's kind of the family of animals they are. It's a porcine. She's a porcine wonder, said the pig's owner, Mrs. Watson. She was very, very brave, dear, said Mr. Watson, husband of Mrs. Watson and proud co-owner of the pig. She's a sly pig, said the Watsons' neighbor, Eugenia Lincoln, and things with her are never as they seem. Baby Lincoln, sister to Eugenia Lincoln, remarked that the most interesting things seem to happen when one has pie right before bed. That pig did capture the thief, said Police Officer Bert Tomilello. How it happened, I'm not sure. But did it happen? Absolutely it did. Firemen Ned Fortune and Lorenzo Wiz were also at the scene. There they are. See them right there? They both agreed that the pig had some amazing abilities. They also pointed out that Mrs. Watson made, what did she make? Toast. That's right. Excellent toast. The thief, Leroy Ninker, is interested in reforming himself. One day he would like to be, what do you think? A cowboy? Of course. The pig had nothing to say, but she seemed very pleased with herself. Now that is the end of volume 2. See the 2 right there? I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that's the end of that. There are some questions on the computer. Right now, I just want you to answer those questions. Hopefully somebody will help you read. and you just answer them with your family. Next week, we're probably going to do some writing down of the answers, but right now I just want you to get used to the computer and how we do things. We'll have much more work next week, but not a ton. Less work than what we would do in regular school because it's a lot different. I don't want you to sit in front of the computer all day long. That would just be awful. It's not good on your body either. Okay? So what we're going to do is 20 minutes of reading, and we have almost got this all together. 20 minutes of reading, and then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have math, and then on Tuesday and Thursday, we have social studies on Tuesday and science on Thursday, but reading is every single day, okay? Every single day. It's that important, okay? I'm going to let you go, and I will see you tomorrow. And don't forget, that's right, Mrs. Frieder loves you, and I miss you so much. Bye.